This is Hagia Sophia, one of the important monuments in the history of the world. It was built in the 6th century AD. Now, it is preserved as a history museum in Turkey. It is the epitome of architectural splendors of Constantinople, a city rich in historical monuments.
Hello guys, haven't you listened to the story of Hagia Sophia? Is it interesting? Yes, it is interesting. Because the Hagia Sophia was built way back in the 6th century. It was built by the rulers of Constantinople. Constantinople. Where is that place? Have you ever heard of that place? Yes, you know that place. It is the old name of Istanbul. Where is Istanbul? This is Istanbul. This is Mediterranean Sea and this is Black Sea. Actually, this place connects Europe with Asia. So it is the most important place in the history of all world. All the world history actually relates to that particular place. The history of Istanbul is the history of the world. Now we call it as Istanbul, but before that its name was Constantinople. Actually, Constantinople was the capital of Eastern Roman Empire. The history of Constantinople starts from AD 324. At that particular year, the great Roman Emperor Constantine the Great attacked that particular place and conquered it. Actually, after that, he renamed that place into Constantinople. Then the question arises, what was the original name of that particular place? It is Byzantium. The name of Byzantium was changed to the new name Constantinople. It's a good story, isn't it? The king who conquered that place changes that place name into his name. But the empire is called Byzantium Empire. Actually, in history, it is known as the Eastern Roman Empire. But some of the guys call it as Byzantium Empire. The capital of Byzantium Empire is Constantinople. Its history has a lot to tell. In its prime, Constantinople was the center of knowledge, culture, science, education. What else? Everything is related to Constantinople. All the guys from different parts of the world came to Constantinople and reside there. The rulers of Constantinople patronizes all those eminent persons and their works. They helped the entire people build their knowledge and shape the history as we know it now. So, Constantinople plays a great role in shaping the history of the old world at that particular period. Its golden era lasts for more than 1,000 years, from AD 324 to AD 1453. At that particular year, the Ottoman Empire conquered Constantinople. The Ottoman Empire starts to function with Constantinople as their capital, and they changed the name of Constantinople to Istanbul. But a lot of guys who didn't like the rulers of Ottoman Empire just fled to Europe. That persons means scholars, poets, scientists, philosophers, artisans, sculptors. Every single one of them fled Constantinople, and at last they reached a place in Italy. That place is called Milan, where they settled. Because the rulers of Milan worshipped all those leaders and they give them enough place, protection, money, etc. Slowly their work changed the entire Italy, the France and the Germany. And slowly that change rippled throughout Europe. And that change is called Renaissance. In Malayalam it is called Navotharam. Total change of everything. Renaissance touches everywhere. It touches religion, it touches education, it touches social norms, it touches literature. It gave a new way of thinking. We call it as rationalism, thinking based on reasons. It is a new way of thought. Before that, everything depends on the philosophy brought by the religion. But now, the thought process changes towards the common people. Think based on reason means it's a revolution. In Malayalam, we call it as Viplavam. It's a change, it's a total change. Total change in all spaces. In literature, in sculpture making, in painting, in education, in philosophy, as well as in religion. Everything changes based on the thought process of reasoning. It's a revolution. This revolution is called a Renaissance. Thought based on reason was not there up to that period. I will tell you an interesting story about that period. At that period, suppose you have committed some sins. If you have money, you can go directly to the church and give some money to the persons connected with the church. They will declare you as persons without sin. Is it good? The interesting thing is, they will give you a certificate. That certificate will say, just like that, you are a person without any sin. That means, persons with money is gentleman without sin. Persons without money means, they are all bad persons. Do you like it? That means, poor people will be persons with sins. Rich people will be without sins. That means they are reserved the heaven. The poor people are reserved for the hell. Is it good? The entire thought process is just like that. Why this happens? This is because of the blind faith. Believing without thought is the philosophy that prevails up to that period. From this Renaissance period, everything changes based on thoughts with reasons. That means poor persons just thought about one thing. How one can write off my sin when I give them money? It is a simple question. പണം കൊടുക്കുമ്പോൾ എൻ്റെ പേരുള്ള പാപം എങ്ങനെയാ ഇല്ലാതാകുന്നത്? A new thought came into the mind of all those persons. There starts the Renaissance. A lot of stories are connected with the Renaissance. You will learn from here onwards the leaders of Renaissance, the pillars of Renaissance, the history of Renaissance, everything. So, our first class starts from here. Before we conclude, I will give you some works. The first one, you have to find out the reasons behind Constantinople's great success in the period of 4th century to 15th century. Lots of experts from education, culture, as well as science came to Constantinople and stayed there. Why? You have to find out the reason. At the same time, you have to find out why they fled from Constantinople to different parts of Europe and why they settled in Milan, Florence and Rome of Italy. You have to find out the reasons and just write down your answers in an order and take a photograph and please send me. One more question. You have to find out the importance of Hagia Sophia. What is Hagia Sophia? When was it built? Who built it? Why? Hagia Sophia is so important in our history. What type of changes happened to Hagia Sophia? You just find out the details of Hagia Sophia and you only heard the story of Hagia Sophia now. But Hagia Sophia's story ends like this. It is now the museum. You might have heard that sentence, that it is a museum. But actually, it is not correct. You have to find out the current status of Hagia Sophia. You just Google it and you will get the answer. You just write down those answers also in your notebook and please take a photograph and please send me back. Don't forget to send it back because I am grading you.